You might remember we had the team from Circle of Spears in the studio. They are a small but growing business which make audiobooks for authors all over the world, dramatisations. But they have another string to their bow as well, as Circle of Spears' Tracey Norman is going to tell us. Tracey, you're going to the, I was going to say the big stage, but not traditional theatre locations, are they?
No, very much so. We do like our quirky venues at Circle of Spears. The more quirky, the better, really.
And this is because you don't just do the audiobooks, you do live dramatisations as well. So what's this one about?
This one is Witch, which is a historical drama based on a real witch trial from Dorset in 1687. And we're bringing that to Torquay Museum. We're going to be in their local studies room, which is a beautiful room lined with books, which is very fitting because Witch is set in a magistrate's library in Tudor times.
So it's the right building to do it in, really. So you transform the museum into a 17th century courtroom, I suppose.
Basically, yes.
What can you tell us about these alleged witches?
Well, the one that the play is actually based on, she was just a normal housewife from Lyme Regis, and some of her neighbours got together after she did a very friendly, neighbourly act by sharing a pipe of tobacco with some of her neighbours.
Hmm.
And that was enough to set one of them off having fits. There were four who shared this pipe of tobacco, but one of these people then went off and had fits and saw apparitions. And as a result, she was accused of witchcraft and tried at the assize in Dorchester.
It makes one suspect what else was in the pipe, really, doesn't it? But
Well, this
maybe
is
not just tobacco. I don't know.
that in the records.
I won't ask you to tell us what happens to her because I'm sure that would give the end away, and you don't want to do that. But I mean, being accused of witchcraft was a real hazard in those times, wasn't it?
Absolutely. There were so many things you could do or not do just by looking at somebody slightly askance. That might be enough to set somebody off thinking that you were casting the evil eye on them.
Mm.
Yeah, there were literally all sorts of minuscule things. Sharing a pipe of tobacco is not a big deal, and yet that simple thing basically devastated somebody's life.
Yeah, and it was particularly women, of course, that got accused of this.
Yeah, I think the split was about 80-20 in percent in favour of women, but there were quite a few men who were also accused of being witches.
And how close to the reality? How close to the historical facts do you stay on this production?
Well, when I actually wrote the show, I mean the show was written in 2016, and at that time all I had was copies of the four handwritten sheets of witness evidence which was used in this lady's trial. I didn't know any more about her other than this two-dimensional view of four people who really did not like her very much. I didn't know what the outcome of the case was. I didn't know anything about her as a woman, as an individual. So what I had to do was take that little bit of information and research more widely and draw in the experiences of lots of other different people, kind of cherry picking the best and worst of people's experiences to create Marjorie, my character, who is destitute. She's a healer, so she has all this kind of knowledge which has been passed down mother to daughter through her family. And she is the person who, after a simple neighbourly gesture, has been accused by one of her neighbours of witchcraft. So what I've done is the evidence being given in the play by her accuser is the evidence which was given in the Dorchester trial of the lady on whom the play is based.
Yeah, so it's pretty much there. I mean, as I say, you have to have a certain amount of poetic license because we don't know absolutely everything, but we can set it in the context of what was really going on at that time, and we do know quite a lot about that broadly.
Absolutely. I mean, this is quite a complete record of a trial. You've got the 4 pages of witness evidence, and you've got in Kew Gardens in the National Archive, you've actually got the result of her case, which I've gone up and found out. I've seen it for myself. So this one is quite complete. But at the time I wrote it, I didn't have that result. And one of the sort of vagaries of research is that obviously non-standard spelling was very much a thing in her time. So I think to date I found 9 or 10 different versions of her surname. And every time she appears in the historical record, it's with a different name, which is why it's been so difficult to track her down.
Yeah, absolutely fascinating. Tracey, I hope it goes well. Remind us when and where this is being staged then, because I think it sounds a fantastic thing to see.
Okay, so first of all, we've got 3 performances coming up. We've got 2 at Torquay Museum in their beautiful local studies room. That's on the 6th of April. There's a performance at 2 p.m. and another at 7 p.m. You can get tickets from the museum in person or online from our website at www.circleofspears.com/store, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
There is also a competition that we're running to win 2 tickets to one of those performances. The winner will get to choose which one they go to. So do pop along to the Circle of Spears Twitter, at Circle of Spears, and check out the pinned post there, which will give you all the details. The 3rd performance we have is at the fantastic Devon Guild of Craftsmen in Bubby Tracy, which is on the 2nd of May at 7 p.m. in their Jubilee Gallery. And that's as a support to a fantastic exhibition of knotted tapestries by the textile artist Anne Jackson, who is Devon-based. It's called Certain Witches, and it uses a lot of the same kind of source materials that I used when I wrote Witch. Beautiful tapestries of all sizes, which look absolutely stunning in the gallery, and we will be using those as our backdrop when we perform, which makes it a very, very special evening.
Brilliant. It sounds superb. Tracey, let us know how it goes. Good luck with it. Break a leg.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you for having us back on.
Thank you. We'll speak again soon, I'm sure. Tracey Norman, who is from Circle of Spears, those productions. I'll give you those dates and details again in just a moment.
I understood lonely